Diolch yn fawr iawn. What a fantastic welcome. It's wonderful to be here in Scotland, especially in Glasgow. I love this city and its people, and you can feel the confidence of the place as soon as you arrive. This is a city of industry and heritage, of civic pride and working class politics. And I'm pleased to be able to return to your conference with more MPs in Westminster than we had the last time that I was with you. Plaid Cymru now has 4 MPs, but given that Stuart MacDonald and Chris Stevens MP are Plaid Cymru members as well, you could argue that the Party of Wales now has 6 MPs, not 4. And of course there are many members of both our parties in Scotland and Wales, and if any of you want to join Plaid Cymru, you are more than welcome. Now, that election last June, we saw many challenges for both of our parties, which we met with vigour. Despite the challenges, the SNP emerged as the largest party in Scotland. Friends, don't let anyone tell you that that result was not a success. That election saw people polarised into 2 camps. Yet despite that, both the Party of Wales and the Party of Scotland held our own in the council elections which took place 6 weeks before. In those council elections, Plaid Cymru made the 2nd largest number of gains of any party in the UK. We broke new ground across our nation, and we were just 3 council seats away from a record-breaking result. In the space of just 6 weeks, though, things changed significantly. Measured by the movement in opinion polls, it was the most dramatic change that had ever occurred in a UK election. But we were still able to finish those elections as an even stronger voice for Wales, with our MPs up 25%. Theresa May's snap election decision will go down in history as a blunder of epic proportions. It suits her and Labour for there to be a return to 2-party politics. It's in the interests of both the red and the blue ties to marginalise our voices in Scotland and in Wales. But in this fast-changing political landscape, my message is that both Plaid Cymru and the SNP are here to stay. We won't allow the people in our countries to be marginalised or ignored, and we will never stop challenging the Westminster political establishment. Conference, solidarity between our nations and parties is crucial during this time of political upheaval. Our countries may well have different histories, and we may well be at different stages on our national journeys. We can learn from those differences. One big difference between us is that in Wales we have a Labour government that has been leading that country for 18 years. The comparisons between the record of the Labour government in Wales and the SNP government here in Scotland shows how our 2 nations are being governed in very different ways. Conference, it is wrong to suggest, as the Labour leader did, that the Scottish Government is not mitigating Tory austerity. The accusation is that you've made a very deliberate choice not to do so. The Scottish Government has mitigated £400 million worth of Tory welfare cuts. Nicola Sturgeon's government protected council tax benefit as soon as it was devolved. Nicola Sturgeon's government has effectively abolished the bedroom tax. Nicola Sturgeon's government has set up the Scottish Welfare Fund and the Independent Living Fund, as well as committing to getting rid of the profit-making element that has been introduced into the system by successive UK governments, red and blue. Conference, this is progressive politics. These are examples of taking on austerity, and don't let anyone tell you any different. So how does all of this contrast to the Labour government we have in Wales? Well, council tax benefit was devolved to Wales too, yet Labour refused to protect it. They said, and this is all on the record, that cash-strapped local authorities would have to cover the 10% cut. It took Plaid Cymru to lay a motion and recall the Assembly during its recess to protect that benefit, the most widely claimed support payment in Wales. Labour was willing to do their worst, and Plaid Cymru stopped them. On the bedroom tax, despite repeated calls from Plaid Cymru, Wales is the only devolved nation where the effects of this cruel measure have not been mitigated. There is no Welsh welfare fund. We have a families fund, but guess what? That's been cut. The same for our anti-poverty programme, Communities First. And when I challenged our First Minister last week to fight for the powers to stop Tory welfare cuts, he refused. Instead, he justified why he just isn't up for the battle on it. Labour does not support the devolution of social security to Wales, and where it already has the powers, it won't use them. It is perverse to bemoan the Tories for their callous welfare reform, the appalling universal credit, for sanctions, for the two-child rape clause, yet at the same time be content to leave complete control over those matters in the hands of the Tories. Why would you do that? Let me tell you what else Labour government means. Labour in Wales are in the process of renewing the Welsh rail franchise. Now, I'm sure you all remember very well how Labour in Scotland accused the SNP of re-privatising the rail service, knowing full well that insufficient powers meant that your government had no choice. Labour in Wales is doing exactly the same thing that the SNP was criticised for, and that hypocrisy deserves to be pointed out. On students, again, despite noises to the contrary, Labour in Wales are increasing tuition fees. It was announced shortly after the election. In Scotland, under Nicola Sturgeon's government, tuition fees do not exist. University education is free. Despite promising to scrap the public sector pay cap during the election, Labour in Wales are refusing to lift any element of that cap. Contrast that to the commitment from Scottish ministers on the public sector pay cap. Well done you for showing that you value public sector workers. But despite all of these differences, on certain matters, it makes sense for us to team up so that we can together be stronger in taking on the Tories. It's been interesting to see recent developments between the Scottish Government and the Welsh Government on Brexit. Plaid Cymru co-authored the Welsh position on EU withdrawal with the Welsh Government because we took the view that it was too important a matter to be left to one party. There are grave risks inherent in the EU withdrawal bill, and it makes sense for those who share such concerns to cooperate with each other to alleviate those risks. From day one, Plaid Cymru has been championing the need to continue to participate in the European single market without tariffs or without other barriers to exports. We pushed the Labour government in Wales to work with Scotland to form a common front. And now, as we face the real prospect of a Westminster power grab, we must continue to assemble the broadest possible opposition to any attempt to downgrade our devolution settlements. The UK government has to understand that the days of them having their own way are over. Any attempt to ride roughshod over our countries will be met with the strongest possible resistance. None of us in the Celtic nations will allow the Tories to undermine our national parliaments. No way. I'm firmly of the belief that Wales has the ability to succeed as a nation. Our potential is yet to be unlocked, which provides for a great opportunity for future Welsh governments. For Plaid Cymru, it is to lead in the government that we now turn our focus. We've used our time in opposition very well. The Party of Wales has secured £500 million towards our manifesto commitments, negotiating deals which help to build the foundations of our nation. We are pushing forward the innovative ideas that the Labour government on their own were not delivering. Better mental health services, improved road and rail infrastructure, strengthening the rural economy, preventing homelessness and supporting people. If we've been able to achieve 50% of our manifesto commitments in just a little over a year in opposition, just imagine what we can do in government. We may be different countries and different parties with different histories, but with many others throughout the world, our party members share the same values. Those values drive us to do what we can to prepare for the impact of climate change. And congratulations to you, by the way, on your recent fracking ban. We're pushing for the same in Wales. Those values see us promoting innovation in our economy and in our infrastructure to create and share wealth, promoting equality, cooperation, compassion, and justice for all, devolving decision-making and empowering our people and communities to take control over our own futures, and in ensuring that everyone who wants to contribute to the building of our nations, to see them succeed, has a role to play and are fully valued as we create societies where no one is left behind. These are values that I am proud to share with you and millions of others throughout the world who are actively rejecting the politics of greed, of hate, and imperialism. We all know that we can build something better than this. So let's continue to work together to promote these values in parallel, in solidarity. Diolch yn fawr.